So to start, whether you're going to do this in sitting or standing, just want you to roll the bottom of both of your feet, looking to connect with the ground and open up the bottom of the feet. Rolling the whole arch. You'll find a spot probably right there at the heel, right in front of the heel to roll, and then all of the part of the, right in front of the toes. Looking to see if you can squeeze the ball and then lift your toes and spread them. Squeeze the ball, lift your toes and spread them. Helps actually to do it with your hands. Neurologically, you get a little bit more carryover that way. Squeeze the ball, lift the toes, roll some more, looking for the tender gritty spots under the plantar fascia. Roll, stimulating circulation, mobilizing all the areas of your foot that are not getting used during the day in the shoe, they're just stiff. Roll them out. Roll the other side. For balance purposes, I have that chair over there. Rolling, this is just an amazing textured ball that I like using, but tennis ball, super ball, all works, lacrosse ball, depending how much pressure you want. Do a nice rolling of the feet, wake up the feet. Squeeze the ball, you're looking to get some space across right here, right in front of the toes. Squeeze the ball, lift the toes, do that a few times. Squeeze. Lift the toes, spread them. Squeeze, lift and spread them. Good. Roll the arch some more. Okay, good. Not looking to cause crazy pain, but you'll find all those sore spots. Just wake up the whole part of your foot. And then you can pause and feel the difference in your feet afterwards. Then you're going to come down on the floor. If you can't get on and off the floor, you're going to put this in like a pantyhose type of thing and take it against the wall here to get your shoulder blades. If you have it in a sock, you can reach and you can move the ball that way. But I like to lie down to do this. We're going to do some spots in the shoulder blade, and then also we're going to go down the whole sympathetic chain of the thoracic spine. So rolling your shoulder blade, right in front of the shoulder blade. A little closer to the spine, right between the shoulder blade and the spine. Breathing into them. Find a spot, hang out there. This is less about rolling and more just find one and stay there. You can use this time to work with that breath work that I showed you, which was inhale, exhale, starting with the bladder. Tucks the tail a little bit. Exhale all the way through the small intestines. Rack the ribs, connect the ribs. Relax your neck. Inhale. Exhale. Bladder, small intestines. Connect the ribs. Relax the face. You can play with moving your shoulder a little bit. Find a tender spot that you're on, and then you can move. To unwind your nervous system, you can continue down that left side or whatever side you're on, down the thoracic spine. You're not going to go past the ribs, not into the lumbar spine, just that sympathetic chain, that fight or flight place, down the thoracic spine. When you find a good one, stop and rest there. Do a few more breath work with the abdominal wall. When you exhale all the way, you're warming up your transverse abdominals, your deep core. That next spot on me was a little painful, so I'm going to go less hard right there. to switch sides. Get a few spots around the shoulder blade and then head down the thoracic outlet, not the outlet, the thoracic spine, sympathetic chain, survival area of the spinal cord. It keeps the feedback loop going of fight or flight. So if you can open that spot up, soften all along the thoracic spine, right next to both sides of the spine. Do a few breaths, inhale, exhale all the way, bladder, small intestines, connect the ribs, exhale all your breath. You could do a Kegel there if you wanted to. If you're doing a Kegel, just make sure you're not clenching your butt all the way and the adductors, you're just strictly looking for pelvic floor. As if you're trying to stop your urine flow or so now we're going to skip and we're going to do some, not right on the bony part of the sacrum, just looking for some spots there in the piriformis, hip rotator muscles. Not looking to make a nervy feeling, just finding those sore trigger points and breathing. Same thing here. Once you find a spot, let it for a few breaths passively and then see if you can move around a little. Taking your hip in different angles, roll your pelvis a little bit. Just fine tune that trigger point work you're trying to do. Do the other side. Releasing the trigger points in these deep glute muscles is going to help the muscles fire better for you once we start working them. From here, I like to take the ball and put my forearm, this side of the forearm, the back of your hand side, and just use your other hand to put some pressure and roll that part of the forearm. And do the hands a little bit, especially the thumb right here, the meaty part. Don't roll right on the carpal tunnel, just the meaty part of the thumb and the palm. Breathing. You just squeeze it a few times like we did with the toes. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. Okay, set the ball aside. If you have a foam roller, you can lie on it this way. Put your tail on the bottom there and lie down. You're going to set the neutral spine so you can tuck the tail under a bit. Actually, this isn't a neutral spine, it's more of a pelvic tilt, depending on your range ability. Okay, so with this, start down a little bit, connect the whole spine, open up the head, the OA. The OA is as much as you can comfortably do. If you can't put your whole head on here for the time being, you can use a little bit of a pillow or a towel roll right here. Breathing here, and you can combine that with the abdominal work, so inhale all the way down. Exhale, bladder connects, small intestine connects, ribs connect, jaw is soft. Palms are up, and you can keep rolling, especially on my right side. It's really tight when I roll my thumb back this way. And you're not going so high up with your arms that your shoulders become in your ears. You keep the blades down. Blades are down, ribs are connected. Just allow the whole arm to open up. Up more isn't necessarily better. If you come down, you're getting different angles of your whole pectoral muscles. So down low, bring the shoulder blades back. Make sure you're not popping the ribs. Reconnect the ribs. Thumbs rolling out. For a lot of people, their pecs are tight enough that if you're without a foam roller, just this way, even with no foam roller, down and connect. Okay, from here, you can do a few straight leg raises, but not these crappy kind. You're gonna do really slow ones where you're using your abdominals. You're gonna have your foot flexed. You're gonna inhale. You're gonna exhale, bladder, small intestine. Reach the heel long toward the opposite wall. Keep it long and lift it just a little bit while you run out of air right here. You run out of air, you suspend for another second or two, and then come down. Inhale again. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Connect the abdominals, reach the heel long. Lift, run out of air. Inhale. Exhale, connect. Reach long with the heel. We'll do 5 on each side. You're not going high. Other side. Inhale. Reach long. Exhale. Get your core online first before you lift your leg. Exhaling all the way will get you essentially to crunch. 5 on this side. Keep the toes pointing toward the ceiling. Don't have your leg externally rotated like that. Also make sure you don't have a sloppy foot doing this. Engaged foot. You rolled your foot, you engage your foot. You come out of the hip socket a little bit to lift. Most of the time when people are doing straight leg raises, they are just impinging their hip in the capsule. You're creating space to lift the leg, not grinding away at your arthritis and your impingement. Good. From here, inhale, exhale, 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 lift the leg. Inhale again. Exhale, 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 lift the other leg. Then from here, inhale, exhale. Let's just lower a little bit while keeping that pelvis engaged. Inhale. Keeping your back right down. You can see mine pop up a little bit when I'm not paying attention. Try not to let your shoulders come up. Connect the ribs. Inhale. Exhale. You can do a few with, you notice I flexed my feet. You can do some with pointed feet and some with flexed feet, just making sure you have an intentional foot posture. With all of these core exercises, make sure you have about 2 seconds of exhale prep before you go anywhere. Inhale, exhale, now go. If this is too hard, just stick with the straight leg raises. Okay, I'm gonna come up. And go ahead and put your shoes on. Also helpful, I'm going to sit in the chair for the moment to just get your collar blade moving a little bit. So just take your own hands under your collar blade and start to, we're going to be doing some rowing. So just start to remind your body that there is some movement that happens in the collarbone. This gets really tight. And then the other side. Just about 3 times. From there, you're going to go into some TheraBand rowing. Pointers here, the shoulders are not coming up and you're not coming from here. You are going to start with your blades. So I'm going to back up a little bit. Exhale, 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 engage, tuck the tail, blades together, shoulders down. So not from here, shoulders are down, inhale, exhale, we'll do 20 of these. really slow on the way back. Exhaling all the way every time to get a little bit more core. Engage your core. Shoulder blades. You're going to turn and do some external rotation. Blades are down, tail is tucked, core is engaged. Inhale, exhale. Just little timies here. Keeping the arm at your side there, not letting this get sloppy. Same thing, do about 10 to 15 or so. Nice and slow. If it shakes on the way back, you're doing a great job. Collarbones are wide, heart is up, jaw is soft. Now we're going to go into tricep extensions. You're in the row position, and if you can do both, that's great. If that's too hard, hold the hand at the other hand at your hip and just do one. Go into full extension. Heart is up, tail is tucked, and core is engaged. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Good. We're going to do a whole other set of that. Rowing. Back up a little and row. I'm just going to do about 10 to 12. I'm not a rigid counter. Just take your time. However many you're doing, make sure it's good form. Exhale on the way out, inhale back in, keeping that core tucked. Triceps, back up. Set number 3, rowing. External rotation. Tricep extension, set the shoulder blades, find the resistance that works for you, and press. Exhale. Whatever weight works for you. I'm going to do about 10 pounds. Look down, make sure your feet are about hip widths apart and not turned in on one side. Make yourself symmetrical. Tuck the tail. Exhale. Up. There's lots of ways to do these. Straight this way. Straight this way. Just do what's comfortable for you. I tend to like to come up and spiral. Tail is tucked, jaw is soft, heart is up. Nice and slow. Exhale. Engage the core. Inhale. Keep the core engaged as you lower. Exhale. Inhale. I don't know how many that was, but that was probably good. Bent over row. You're not going to come this way. Your blades are down. You row. Neutral neck. You're looking about maybe a yard in front of your feet. Exhale. Exhale. Wide collarbones. Shoulders come together, but they stay down. Good. Safely come up, back to bicep curls. Don't use so much weight that you can't relax your neck and jaw. rowing. Come up safely. When you're ready, biceps. We'll do 3 sets. So wherever you are, just don't necessarily try to keep up with me or do your own pacing. Exhale. The next thing, you can go a little bit heavier. I'm going to get onto the ground. However, it's safely for you to do that. I know that wasn't the best move I just did. Roll your blades down. Get your back contacted to the ground. A little bit of a tilt with the tail. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to do chest press. Exhale up. Exhale all the way. Get some core while you're at it. Inhale. Exhale. Intentionally engage the core. All the way. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. My right shoulder always wants to creep up, so just, keep sending it back down and chest press. Jaw is soft. Neck is relaxed. From here, I alternate, if it's comfortable for you, to put your weights here to do bridges. So we're going to do 3 sets, alternating chest press and bridges with weights, or bridges with no weight. Inhale, exhale, core, hamstrings. Feel like you can keep your big toe side connected. Don't roll out on the outside of your feet. That gets your hamstrings a little bit more. If you can feel that if you load your big toe side. Adductors show up, hamstrings show up. I don't know how many that was, but that's enough. 3 sets of these. About 10 reps. A lot of the literature is for my age group. Heavy weight is sort of as heavy as you can do safely. Around 8 reps is actually better for our growth hormone and bone density and all that. But for now, just do what you're doing, about 10 reps, 3 sets of these. You won't get as tired with the bridges because we have more muscles. They're stronger there. So your arm weights will be harder than your bridges, probably. But this is a good warm up because it gets the glutes to start firing. And if the glutes are firing, it starts to relax the hip flexors in the front. Firing the opposite muscle relaxes the opposing muscle. So the hip flexors actually are, right now, especially with the breathing, the hip flexors are starting to soften, which most people need. Load the big toe side. The safest way for people to get up would be to let the weight down, maybe a little bit, because I don't want you hurting your wrists. And come on. Keep those weights handy. So we're going to do some squats. If you aren't using weights and you're not ready, the prep would be to do it in a chair. From the chair, you're going to lean forward and up. Put your butt out and down, lower slowly. Inhale, exhale. Make sure there's something behind you so the chair's not going to move. So that's, if you can't do a full squat yet, that's where you start. Same prep. Heart is up, collarbones are wide. Look down at your feet, make sure they're as neutral as possible. Inhale, exhale. From there, deadlifts. Exhale, inhale, exhale. Keep exhaling on the way up. Inhale. Lots of ways to do the breathing, just make sure your spine is stable. A lot of people would inhale on the way down. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Exhale all the way to get like almost like a little crunch right there. Weights or no weights, whatever works for you safely. for the deadlifts. What I actually like doing better than squats is split squats. So if you don't have the balance to do these, just stick with regular squats. Shoulders are back. As long as it's safe for you to do. Do the weight that gets it to where it's difficult by number 8. Weights go right down by your shins. Inhale, exhale, exhale all the way. Okay. From here, while you rest kind of a little bit, and practice with the one-legged balance. Tuck the tail. You're not balancing like this. You are balancing like this. Just like with those straight leg raises, crawling up out of that hip socket and then doing work from there. And move your leg around for balance. You're going to spend some time doing that if you need to. That's right in the doorway where you can hold on. Pelvis stays facing forward. On my right side, I like to cheat and do that. Make sure you're not doing that. Load the big toe side, tuck the tail. You can keep doing that. Or toe raises. Hopefully getting to progress to one-legged toe raises. When you're doing the one-legged toe raises, you are out of that socket and straight up and down. Big toe side. about 15 to 20. Make sure the foot is pointed as far neutral as you can. Heart stays up, collarbones are wide. Straight up and down, 15 times. Or do both if this is too difficult, just both sides. From there, if you have balance trouble, you can do right here, step ups. This would be phase one, pelvis is forward. Nice and slow on the lowering. And then you can also, from here, raise a little higher and getting up out of that hip that you're on. So nice control, up and lower, up and lower, up. Watch this obviously. So depending on how tall you are, most people should be okay. Switch sides. Phase one. Phase two. Keep going with that. I'm going to be doing it on the Bosu. Alternate. Same thing there, turn sideways. make sure your heart rate is down before you lie on your back after that. If you're used to that sort of thing, you can carry on. But you're back on the floor when you're ready. You can do regular bridges again if that's your level. You can do it on the Bosu. You can prop your feet up on that stool over there. That stool is a little bit lower than a standard stair height. So we got bridges. Using our whole foot, remembering the big toe side. Remember your full exhale at the top. I like to alternate between regular bridges and one-legged ones. Don't make sure your pelvis is level. When I do the one-legged ones, I do 6. And I like to do these actually on this rack right here, but people probably don't have a racket. The dynamic surface of the Bosu really helps with balance. Balance upgrades, muscle recruitment variety, just extra challenge. Uses the foot that you warmed up. The bones in our feet are meant to be mobile and stable. especially this ankle external rotation, eversion of your ankle. Do them slow enough and challenging enough that you get a little bit of a fatigue happening on the way back. You can change the angle, right? Have your foot down closer to the floor. Like a windshield wiper. Or come up a little bit more like this. You're back on the floor. From here, if you have trouble being on all fours or you're not quite, you just have trouble, go to the clams. Right. Pelvis is roll forward. Open this way 20 times. Do a few different angles. That one doesn't do too much for me. I get better work back here. And if you can, you're getting clams, hands over your shoulders with the fire hydrant exercise too. Try to keep your sacrum pretty level, core is engaged. When you do them after all that bridge work, actually, the muscles are more fatigued, so you'll actually find that it's harder to do these kind of things, both the donkey kicks and the fire hydrants, if you already worked those muscles. You can do a full expression of this, but for now we're just isolating. But, you know, you do you. Remember not to arch your back. If you have spondylolisthesis or spondylosis, or your doctor has told you that your spine is slipping forward and pushing in your facet joints, you're better off doing just the bridges. Okay, the one we didn't do, roll a towel if you don't have a Bosu ball to keep yourself from smashing your nose. Lie on Bosu, fingertips reach away toward the wall and blades together. We'll do 10. Then from here, we'll alternate in this set. You can do plank, flat back, engage low belly, small intestine, bladder. Exhale all the way. Inhale, exhale all the way. So I like to do little mini inhales and exhale all the way again. More of the eye exercise. Reach toward the wall with your fingertips, blades together. Ten times. Plank. Half plank if you have to. If this is where you're at, that's great. Hold form. You have the Bosu, the eye exercise, it's like this. Okay, good. So that's the routine that I like to do. That's the routine put together. Most of it that was on my email program, just in one. Now, the part from here, right? I want you to go for a walk. Not like this, not like this. Tuck your tail under. Make sure the OA, the occipital area, is open through here. That little dimple should be not like this. as much as you can get to this and walk like that. Go for a walk like this. Hold your heart up, tails tucked, abdominals engaged. Just go for a walk for 20 minutes or whatever you got around the block. Thanks.